I'm Jon Gunderson from the University of Illinois, and we've developed a set of open source tools to help people understand WCAG single A and double A compliance. And right now we have at least one rule for each single A and double A requirement for WCAG 2.0. We're working on the WCAG 2.1 requirements that are double A. But kind of the basis of our tool is, since we can't necessarily always identify something as either passing or failing, we provide information about manual checks. So in a way, what our tool does is help filter which WCAG requirements apply to your particular web resource based on the content that we see in the web resource. So for example, if we see a video element in a page, we can't necessarily tell whether it has captions or not, because it may be open caption, so the video may be open caption, but we can let people know, hey, there's a video on this page and somebody needs to verify whether it meets the captioning or text alternative requirements of WCAG. The other thing about our tool is that I'm heavily involved with the W3C web accessibility standards, and the other thing that we're trying to do with our tools is to help people understand those standards better and use the features of the standards to maximize the accessibility of the web resources they're developing. So for many years, people, when they talked about web accessibility, usually talked about a particular assistive technology with a particular browser, because of the lack of standards related to how browsers should communicate to assistive technologies. But that's changed a lot in the last 3 or 4 years. While we haven't achieved perfect use of standards in all the browsers and all the assistive technologies, it's certainly, light years ahead of where it used to be. And it's getting better and better. So that one of the basic principles of the web was when Tim Berners-Lee created it in 1989, was that you could write something once and have it work on a wide variety of devices and services. And that's the kind of what the web is really all about. And while we haven't been able to do that for people with disabilities, for at least some types of disabilities, we're getting much closer to that with the web standards. So part of what our tools do is try to help people understand how to use the web standards much better in terms of how to implement features on their page, to use the new ARIA standards correctly. There's a lot of misunderstandings about what ARIA does, and so we try to provide information within the tools to help people understand how different types of ARIA should be used. So just a little bit of background about what our tools. I really see a major purpose of our tools is helping people understand accessibility, where other tools tend to be more focused on what I call whack-a-mole accessibility. Tell me where there's a problem and if I have the resources, I'll fix it. We want to help raise people's awareness about what the issues are on their page, where they seem to be doing well, and where they need to improve. And I think that speaks a little bit to the earlier comments related to training. Once I start understanding what kinds of things our web pages are doing well and what kind of things we need to improve, I can use resources to help the people developing or our resources to understand those things that they might not understand. And so one of the things our tool does is provide those manual checks on those other requirements that can't automatically be checked, so people can see, oh, I need to start understanding these things because, for us to do this effectively, our staff need to be thinking about these things as they're building, designing, or procuring the resources for our website. So hopefully that's clarified a little bit about what we're trying to do with our tools.
Thank you, John. Can you let the audience know website or URL they can go and visit to learn more about your tool?
Sure. Let's see. Put that in the chat here. Just put a URL. So this is a web resources. You can create a free account, analyze a website. But there's information about the rule sets, so you can go and look and see what rules are associated with WCAG requirement or WCAG 2.0 requirement. I'll put that a URL in the chat. So you can learn, and you can try out your tool on our website. So you can create an account. You can put a URL in, tell it how deep you want it to spider, and it'll spider that and then generate a report. and you can look at, what kind of accessibility features your website has or doesn't have that you may need to learn more about. People can also contact me if they'd like some more information. We also have a web browser tool, uses the same evaluation engine. So this goes in the plugin for Firefox, so it allows you to go behind password protected websites and at least evaluate the current DOM. So these are the two main tools.
And now we move into our audience participation phase of our segment here, and we're opening up live chat. Feel free to send us in your chats. You can use chat and or Q&A. Feel free to email us at info@iaccessible.com either during or after this webinar. And also we look forward to hearing from you. Give us a call anytime. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you learned a few things about lifecycle accessibility testing, and we especially want to thank our audience and of course our speakers, Dr. Mark Turner, Dr. Jon Gunderson, Jeremy Westerwiller, and we look forward to talking with you soon.